Germany round 3. The Germans are launching an attack with most of their forces into Belarusia this turn. And they're also launching an attack into Romania with 2 infantry and an artillery. They've got about 15 tanks there, 4 fighters, and say about 12 infantry going up against the Russians. On the Atlantic side of the board, they're launching an attack against the American forces in their convoy zone here, the 2 destroyers with a battleship, transport, submarine, and a destroyer. So let's roll them up and see where they land. The Second Battle of Belarusia, the Germans are trying at it again. The Russians have 26 units shooting for 2 or less and 1 fighter. And the Germans have about 12 infantry, 6 artillery, and somewhere around 17 tanks, 4 fighters, and a bomber. This battle will probably be a big one for the whole game here. So hopefully the Russians can put up a good fight again. So let's roll them up and see where they land. Battle of Belarusia, round 1. The Russians scored 10 hits and the Germans scored 12. The German artillery did not show up this round, and they didn't get any hits. But the tanks and fighters did pretty well, and the infantry managed to get a hit. On the Russian side, the fighter got a hit, and they ended up getting 9 hits with the infantry and artillery. So on to round 2. The Battle of Belarusia, round 2. The Germans and the Russians both scored 7 hits. The Germans definitely underperformed with so many tanks and fighters. Their bomber missed, and the Russians overperformed, did pretty well. So let's see if they can keep it up in the next round. The Battle of Belarusia, round 3. The Germans scored 10 hits, which finishes off the Russians, and the Russians only managed to score 3 hits. So that'll do it for the Battle of Belarusia. The Germans have taken it and will be probably pushing into Moscow next turn. So on to Russia, turn 3. Russia, turn 3. The Russians bought 6 infantry and have moved their forces back to Moscow after their loss in the Battle of Belarusia. Just trying to hold out as long as they can and hoping the Allies can come through and help them out. So on to Great Britain, turn 3. Great Britain, turn 3. The British, feeling the weight of the German subs on their convoys, only had $9 to spend this turn, and they purchased a transport. But they launched an attack and took France and Belgium, and also retook their 5 IPC British convoy. So they're going to end up getting $18 this turn to spend next turn. So on to United States, turn 3. United States, turn 3. The United States purchases 2 destroyers, a transport, infantry, and an artillery, and launch attack, trying to take back their convoy zone here and take out the German fleet that's here of a battleship and a destroyer. And hopefully they're hoping to get into the fight here before the Germans are able to take out Russia. So let's roll them up, see where they land, and then on to German, turn 4. Germany, turn 4. Germany purchases 10 infantry and saves the rest of their money. Launches 3 infantry and artillery against France. 2 artillery and 2 tanks against Belgium. Their 2 submarines are attacking this Soviet fleet. They're launching an attack against the Baltic states, 1 tank to Leningrad, infantry and artillery to Stalingrad, and there's going to be a major battle in Moscow. So let's roll them up and see where they land. The Battle of Moscow, the Germans have 20 tanks, 4 fighters, and a bomber. And the Russians have about 15 units that are rolling for 2s and a bomber. So hopefully the Russians need to fight like men possessed. But on to round number 1. Battle of Moscow, round 1. The Germans scored 8 hits. and the Russians scored 4. So on to round number 2. The Germans have taken Moscow. In round 3 of the battle, the Germans scored about 14 hits, so they showed up real good. The Russians actually did pretty well, scoring about 5 hits, but it wasn't close to being enough. Over here in the Atlantic, the Russian submarine defeated 2 German submarines, but the Germans were able to retake Western Europe. So that is the game. Mistakes that were made in this game, it's hard to really determine. The Germans had gotten real lucky with their Navy rolls over here. They'd gotten a lot of hits with their submarines and had taken out a lot of American ships and held them up for long. And the British had waited a turn to build a navy up, which isn't the worst move ever, but the Russians just couldn't seem to get it done. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to play any of these games, I'm going to be getting the 1940 versions of these 1940 Europe and Japan sometime soon. So always leave a message if you have any comments. Also leave a message if you'd like to play in one of our games. I play on Facebook Messenger. So thanks for watching.